The sun rose like it always did. Slow, soft, over the far-stretching fields that smelled of damp earth and corn. The roosters screamed their usual cries, and the horses stomped their hooves, waiting for someone to open the barn doors. Everything looked peaceful, too peaceful maybe, inside a plain wooden house with no electric hum, no buzzing lights. A young woman sat near the window. Her name was Sarah, and she was 22. Her hands rested on her lap, still calm, but her mind was not. She had been awake all night, staring at the ceiling, listening to the sound of the wind brushing against the boards. That sound used to make her feel safe. Now it made her nervous. Outside, her father's voice carried through the air. Deep, commanding. "Time to feed the horses," he said to her brothers. She could almost feel the vibration of his tone in her chest. He was a good man, people said. A strong Amish man. Devoted. Disciplined. The kind who never looked at the world beyond their fields. The kind who believed the outside world was sin, corruption, temptation. Sarah used to believe it too, until she didn't. It started small, a crack in the wall of faith. The first time she saw a stranger's car stopping near the fence, she had stared too long. The boy inside had smiled, holding a soda can, laughing with his friends. That sound, that freedom, it stuck with her. It was like seeing another planet through a small hole. Since then, her thoughts wandered, more than they should. Her mother noticed the change. So did her bishop. They warned her gently at first, then sternly. They said the devil likes quiet hearts, that he speaks softly through dreams, through doubts. And Sarah, she was full of both, dreams and doubts. Too many. That morning, as the sun climbed higher, she folded her shawl and pressed her hand against the window. Cold glass, clear sky. She whispered, maybe today. Her reflection looked back. Plain dress, hair tied neat, eyes not so calm. Maybe today she would do it. Leave, step out, never come back. But leaving wasn't easy. It was forbidden. To leave the Amish meant losing everything. Family, home, name, faith. You become shunned, like a ghost walking among the living. Still, that thought didn't scare her anymore. What scared her more was staying, living a life where every thought had to be hidden. Every question had to be swallowed. Somewhere deep inside her, something had already escaped. The rest of her just had to follow. And outside, the horses waited. The path to the road was muddy from last night's rain, but it was clear enough for one pair of feet to walk on. That evening, rain began again. Not heavy, just soft, like the sky whispering secrets to the ground. The smell of wet wood filled the small house, and candlelight trembled on the table. Sarah sat near the corner, sewing. Her hands moved, but her mind was somewhere far away. Her father talked about next Sunday's service. Her brothers argued about tools. Her mother smiled without saying much. It was the same every night. Routine, quiet, predictable, except for the small folded paper under Sarah's apron, the one she wasn't supposed to have. She found it 2 days ago, tucked between the pages of an old prayer book in the barn. At first, she thought one of the younger children had put it there by mistake. But when she opened it, her heart nearly stopped. It was from Anna, her cousin, the one who left 2 years ago and was never mentioned again. Sarah, the letter began in shaky handwriting. If you ever think about leaving, you're not alone. There's a place for us. We help each other. You just have to be brave once. Only once. That line stayed inside her like fire. Brave once. Not forever. Just once. The letter talked about a small group of ex-Amish living near a town 30 miles away. They worked, they studied, they learned the world again like children. The paper even had an address scribbled on the bottom, faded but readable. Sarah read it 100 times, and then 100 more. Every time she folded it back, her hands trembled. She knew if her father or the bishop found out, it wouldn't just be her who paid the price. Her whole family would face shame, questions, maybe punishment, and still, she couldn't throw it away. It felt like a key, a small piece of freedom wrapped in paper. That night, when everyone went to bed, she lit the candle again and unfolded the letter. The wax dripped slow, golden on her hand. She read it aloud in a whisper. The sound of her own voice saying those words made her chest ache. You just have to be brave once. Outside, thunder rolled across the fields. The sound echoed like a warning. But Sarah wasn't afraid this time. Not of thunder, not of sin, not of what came after. She took a piece of fabric, wrapped the letter, and hid it under the loose board beneath her bed. Then she sat there, knees pulled to her chest, staring at the flame. The world beyond the fence suddenly didn't seem so impossible. But leaving would mean more than walking away. It meant breaking hearts, breaking rules, maybe never seeing her family again. Her eyes filled with tears, not of fear, but of something heavier, guilt. The kind that twists inside you, the kind that makes your breath hurt. She prayed quietly, asking for a sign, any sign. Then, just before the candle died, she heard footsteps outside. Slow, careful, right below her window. Her heart stopped. A shadow moved past the glass. Someone was listening. The sound came again. A footstep, then another. Soft, careful, too careful. Sarah's heart beat loud enough she thought it might wake the whole house. She blew out the candle quickly. Darkness swallowed the room. Only the faint glow from the window outlined her face. She held her breath. The window creaked just a little. Then silence. She wanted to move, but couldn't. Her muscles froze. Every sound felt like thunder. Her pulse, the rain, the shifting wood. Then a whisper. Sarah. It was a voice she knew. Deep but gentle. Her brother Jonas. The oldest. The one everyone said would take their father's place someday. She moved closer to the window and whispered back. Jonas, what are you doing out there? Let me in, he said. Quick. She hesitated, glancing toward the hallway. The house was quiet, everyone asleep. She unlatched the window slowly, and Jonas slipped in. His clothes were wet from rain, his hat dripping water onto the floor. He didn't smile. His eyes were serious, scared even. What's wrong? She asked. He looked at her, then at the dark corner where the candle had been. I saw your light. You were awake again. So what if I was? She said. He didn't answer right away. His jaw tightened. Then he said quietly, I know about the letter. Everything inside her went cold. She stepped back. What letter? He shook his head. Don't lie to me. I saw you reading it in the barn. I followed you. I saw where you hid it. Her throat felt dry. She didn't move. Jonas sighed, rubbed his face. Sarah, you can't keep it. If Father finds out, you'll ruin everything. He'll tell the bishop. You'll be sent away. Maybe worse. I'm already leaving, she said softly. He looked stunned. You can't mean that. I do. You'll be shunned. You'll never come back. You'll be dead to us. Her eyes filled with tears. Already feel dead here. Jonas looked at her for a long moment. The rain beat harder against the window. Then he did something she didn't expect. He reached into his pocket and pulled out something small, a folded piece of cloth. Inside it was money, a few bills, old, worn, but real. Take it, he said. Sarah stared. What is this? For when you leave. You'll need something. Her lips trembled. You're helping me? He didn't answer right away. Then he whispered, You're my sister. I can't stop you, but you can't stay here anymore either. They're already suspicious. Her chest tightened. Who? Father. And Bishop Eli. They think you've been questioning too much. They said maybe you need to spend time with the women in strict service. That's not good, Sarah. Once you go there, you'll never come back the same. For a moment, neither of them spoke. Only rain, only silence. Then Jonas said, If you're going, go soon. Before Sunday. I'll distract them when I can. She wanted to thank him, but no words came. He touched her shoulder once, then climbed back out into the night. She stood there long after he was gone, staring into the rain. And for the first time, she didn't feel alone. Somewhere between the fear and the tears, a small thing grew inside her. Something quiet but unstoppable. Hope. The next morning came gray and heavy. The kind of sky that looks tired. The kind that makes you feel like the world forgot the color blue. Sarah woke before dawn. She moved quietly, careful not to wake anyone. Every creak in the floor felt like a warning. Her mind replayed the night before again and again. Jonas, the letter, the money, his words, go before Sunday. That gave her 3 days. Only 3. She dressed in the plain blue dress her mother had sewn months ago. She brushed her hair, tied it back, and hid the folded money inside her shoe. Every small motion felt unreal, like she was walking through someone else's dream. Breakfast was the same as always. Bread, jam, milk. Father prayed long, his voice steady. Sarah bowed her head, but her thoughts were racing. She thought about roads, towns, that name written in the letter, Anna. Her cousin who made it out. Was she really waiting? Or was that letter just a hope written long ago? When breakfast ended, Sarah went to the barn. The horses turned their heads as she entered, their eyes calm, warm. She felt safer there than anywhere else. She knelt beside the haystack, lifted the loose plank under which she'd hidden the letter. It was still there, dry, untouched. She took it out, read it again, slowly this time. The address, the directions, every word like a thread leading out of the maze she lived in. She whispered to herself, I'll find you, Anna. I'll find that place. She began to make her plan. Simple, quiet, invisible. She'd leave after nightfall, when everyone slept, walk across the north field, through the woods, to the dirt road. There, she'd wait. Maybe a car would pass. Maybe she'd walk all night. Didn't matter. She'd go. She just needed to reach the main road by sunrise. She spent the day pretending to laugh with her mother, pretending to help her younger sister braid her hair, pretending to listen to her father's words about obedience and peace. Every smile hurt. Every moment felt fake. But she had to act. She couldn't give them a reason to suspect. By noon, the sun broke through the clouds for a moment. It painted everything gold, the barns, the fences, the fields. It almost looked like a blessing. But she knew better. Light didn't always mean safety. When evening came, the house grew quiet again. The family gathered around the fire for prayer. Her father read scripture, his voice deep and sure. He spoke about loyalty, about the dangers of temptation, about the ones who walked away and never returned. Sarah kept her eyes low, her hands clenched together, so tight her knuckles turned white. She could feel his words stabbing right through her. Maybe he knew. Maybe Jonas told him. When the prayer ended, her father placed his hand on her shoulder. Firm, heavy. You've been distant, Sarah, he said. You must be careful. Evil starts in small thoughts. She forced a smile. I understand, Father. He looked into her eyes for a long time, then nodded. Good. Tomorrow, you will work with the women in service at the church barn. It will bring you back closer to the Lord. Her heart stopped. That was the place Jonas warned her about. The place people didn't come back from the same. She swallowed hard. Yes, Father. But in her heart, she already knew she wouldn't be here tomorrow. She'd leave tonight. No more waiting. No more fear. The world outside was waiting, even if it didn't want her yet. The night came quiet. Too quiet. The moon hid behind clouds, and the air smelled like wet earth and smoke from the lanterns. Sarah waited. Every tick of her heartbeat counted like a clock. When the last candle went out and her father's footsteps faded upstairs, she sat still for another hour, listening, making sure. No sound, no whisper, just the creak of the house breathing in its sleep. She took the small bundle she'd hidden under her bed, bread, a scarf, the folded letter, and the money Jonas gave her. That was all. Everything else she left behind. Her dresses, her books, her name. She opened the window slow. The hinges groaned. She froze. Waited. Nothing. The world outside waited too, silent and dark. She climbed out, landing softly on the cold dirt. The grass was wet under her feet. Her breath came out white in the air. She turned once, looking at the house, her home, her cage, her whole world. The candlelight from her parents' room flickered faintly. For a moment, she felt the pull, the ache, the question, what if I stayed? But the answer was already written in her heart. She couldn't. She started walking, past the barn, past the horses that shifted quietly as she passed. They lifted their heads, their eyes glinting in the dark. It felt like they knew, like they were watching her go. The field stretched wide and endless. Mud clung to her shoes. Every few steps she looked back, expecting a light, a voice, something. Nothing came. Only wind. Only the soft whisper of the grass brushing her dress. Halfway through the field, she heard something, a sound behind her. A branch breaking. Her breath caught. She turned fast. Nothing. Maybe it was the wind. Maybe not. She kept moving, faster now. Her heart pounding like thunder in her chest. The woods ahead looked darker than the night itself. But that was her way out. Her way to the dirt road. She entered the trees, the smell of pine thick around her. Twigs snapped under her feet. Somewhere far behind, a dog barked. Then another. Her blood ran cold. They found out. She ran. The trees blurred. Branches scratched her arms, tore at her sleeves. Her breath came hard and loud. The sound of barking grew closer. Then voices. Men shouting. Her father's name among them. Sarah, stop. Her legs burned. Her lungs screamed. But she didn't stop. She couldn't. She reached the edge of the woods, stumbled out onto the dirt road, fell hard onto her knees. The world spun. Mud smeared her hands. She pushed herself up, heart breaking the air apart. Headlights. Far away. A car. Coming closer. She waved her hands, screaming. Help. Please. The barking grew louder behind her. The car slowed, stopped. A door opened. A man's voice, young, uncertain. Are you okay? Sarah didn't even look back. She just ran toward the light. And behind her, the world she came from disappeared into the dark. The car door swung open. Light spilled onto the dirt road, bright and strange, like something from another world. Sarah blinked hard. Her eyes weren't used to it. She'd never been this close to a car at night before. The engine hummed like a living thing. A man stepped out, maybe in his 20s. Jeans, jacket, baseball cap turned backward. His voice came uncertain. Hey, are you okay? You lost. Sarah couldn't answer. Words stuck in her throat. She just stood there, shaking, dress torn, face pale. He looked at her again, confusion turning to concern. You from the Amish community? She nodded weakly. He sighed. You shouldn't be out here alone. It's miles to town. She tried to speak. Please help me. Just drive. Anywhere. He hesitated, looked back toward the woods where the barking echoed faintly. Something in her eyes must have convinced him. He opened the passenger door. Get in. She climbed inside. The seat felt soft, warm, strange. The smell of gasoline and old leather filled her nose. She'd never sat in a car before. The man started the engine, and the car moved, the ground slipping away faster than she'd ever moved in her life. Sarah pressed her face to the window. The trees blurred. The dark fields stretched like shadows running backward. Her heart thumped in disbelief. She was leaving, really leaving. The man glanced at her a few times. Name's Mike, he said. You got somewhere to go. She pulled the folded letter from her pocket. Here, this address. He looked at it briefly, nodded. That's about 30 miles. I can take you. She whispered, "Thank you." They drove in silence for a while. The headlights cut through the night, showing nothing but road. Her hands rested on her lap, trembling slightly. She felt everything and nothing at once. After some time, Mike spoke again. "You got family out there?" "My cousin," she said softly. "She left too." He nodded, eyes on the road. "Brave thing you did." Sarah looked out the window again. The stars were faint but real. She'd never seen them from this side of life. They looked freer somehow. But then a thought crept in. Her father's face, her mother's tears, Jonas standing in the rain. Her chest tightened. She turned her head away, biting her lip hard. Mike noticed. "You okay?" She nodded, but her eyes stayed wet. "I left everything." He said nothing, just drove. The sound of the tires against gravel filled the silence. For the first time, she realized how big the world was, how far she could go, how far she already had. But freedom felt strange, not light, heavy, like she'd traded one kind of cage for another she didn't yet understand. The car slowed near a small gas station. Bright lights, signs glowing red and blue. She stared at them like someone staring at magic. Mike said quietly, "We'll stop here. You can use the restroom. Maybe get some food." Sarah blinked. "Food? From here?" He smiled faintly. "Yeah, real food. Chips, soda, whatever you want." She stepped out slowly. The pavement felt different under her feet. Too hard, too new. Inside the station, everything buzzed, lights, music, people laughing. She froze, overwhelmed. Freedom was louder than she thought. The door opened and sound hit her like a wave. Laughter, music, the buzz of a refrigerator. Sarah froze near the entrance, her hands clutching her shawl. The light was too bright, the colors too strong. Everything here moved too fast. People walked past her, talking, smiling, tapping glowing screens with their thumbs. They didn't even look at her. To them, she was invisible, just another stranger in a world built on noise. Mike stayed close, noticing her unease. "It's okay," he said softly. "Just a gas station. Nothing scary." She nodded, but her eyes darted around like a frightened bird. She looked at the rows of food, bright packets, cans, bottles. So many choices. Too many. "What do you want?" Mike asked. She pointed uncertainly at a bag. "That maybe..." He smiled. "Chips. Good choice." She held the bag carefully, as if it were fragile glass. The texture crinkled in her hands. She'd never touched anything like it. Then Mike handed her a can of soda. "Try it." She looked confused. "Ow, pull the tab," he said. "Like this." The can hissed open. She flinched at the sound, then laughed, a soft, nervous laugh. "It's alive." He laughed too. "Kind of." She took a sip. Her eyes widened. The fizz danced on her tongue, sharp, sweet, shocking. "It burns," she said, surprised. "That's the bubbles," he replied. She took another sip anyway, this time slower, and smiled. For a brief moment, she forgot everything, the barns, the rules, the prayers. For a moment, she was just a girl tasting the world for the first time. But the moment didn't last. As she stood near the counter, she caught her reflection in the window. The plain blue dress, the bonnet, the pale, tired face. Everyone around her wore jeans, bright colors, sneakers. She looked like a ghost from another century. A few people stared, whispered. One even laughed quietly. Her stomach tightened. She turned away, eyes stinging. "Can we go?" Mike nodded without asking why. They walked out into the cool night air. The sound faded behind them, replaced by the hum of crickets and the distant highway. Back in the car, Sarah stared at the glowing city lights on the horizon. "It's so loud," she said quietly. "Even when it's quiet, it's loud." Mike nodded. "You get used to it." She wasn't sure she wanted to. They drove for another hour. The lights of the gas station faded into the distance. Sarah leaned her head against the window, watching the world blur by. Neon signs, houses, roads, all strange, all alive. Freedom wasn't what she thought. It didn't feel like flying. It felt like falling, endlessly, into something she didn't understand yet. When they reached the small town mentioned in the letter, Mike slowed the car. The streets were narrow, lined with old buildings. He looked at the address again, then pointed. That should be it. Over there. Sarah followed his gaze. A small wooden house with a single light in the window. Her heart pounded. She clutched the letter in her hand. That's her, she whispered. That has to be her. Mike parked. You sure? Yes. Then go, he said gently. You're safe now. She turned to him, eyes filled with tears. Thank you. He smiled. Take care of yourself, Sarah. She stepped out, closed the door, and stood in the quiet street. The car drove away. The sound faded. She looked at the house again. The window light flickered. Someone moved inside. She took a deep breath, then knocked. The door opened slow. A soft light spilled into the night. For a moment, no one spoke. Then a voice came, quiet, cautious. Sarah, it was her. Anna, her cousin. Older now. Her face thinner, her eyes sharper. But the smile was the same. That same half-smile Sarah remembered from years ago, when he used to sneak laughter between chores. Sarah's voice broke. Anna. Before she could say more, Anna pulled her into a hug. Tight. Real. You did it, she whispered. You actually came. Sarah nodded, trembling. The smell of soap and wood filled her lungs. Her cousin's hands were warm against her cold skin. For the first time in days, she felt safe. Anna led her inside. The room was small but alive. Lamps glowed electric. Books lined the shelves. A kettle hissed softly on the stove. There were colors, blue curtains, red cups, a green chair by the window. Everything simple yet bright. Sarah looked around like a child entering a dream. It's beautiful, she said. Anna smiled faintly. It's home. For now. They sat at the small table. Anna poured tea into mismatched mugs. You must be hungry. Sarah nodded. She hadn't eaten since morning. Anna handed her bread and honey. It wasn't much, but it felt like a feast. For a long time, they didn't speak, just silence and breathing. Then Anna asked softly, Does Father know? Sarah looked down. Yes, they'll never forgive me. Anna nodded slowly. They never forgive anyone who leaves. Her words hung heavy in the air. Sarah asked, How did you do it? How did you stay away? Anna looked in her cup. It wasn't easy. The world here, it's kind, sometimes, but it's also cruel. People stare. They think you're strange. You don't fit anywhere. Not there, not here. You become something in between. Sarah frowned. Something in between. Anna sighed. You're not Amish anymore, but you're not exactly like them either. You learn things they already know, how to work, how to talk, how to belong. But they'll always see something different in you. It takes time. Sarah felt her chest tighten. Do you ever regret it? Anna's eyes softened. Every night. And then I wake up free, and I remember why I left. Silence again. Outside, rain began tapping against the window. The sound felt familiar, almost comforting. Anna reached across the table, took Sarah's hand. You did the hardest part already. You left. The rest is just surviving. Sarah looked up. I don't know if I can. You can, Anna said firmly. You just have to be brave again. Not once this time. Every day. Sarah nodded slowly. The words felt like truth. Anna stood, walked to a drawer, and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Here, a number. A group helps girls like us. They'll teach you how to get papers, how to work. It's not easy, but it's real. Sarah took it carefully. The letters looked strange, cold, foreign. But the idea, it was warm. For the first time since she left, she smiled without fear. Thank you. Anna smiled back. Welcome to the other side. But outside, in the darkness beyond the rain, a car passed slow on the street. Headlights swept across the window, white and searching. Anna noticed it too. Her smile faded. She whispered, "Close the curtains." Sarah did. Her hand shook. For a moment, silence returned. But deep inside, she felt it. The world she escaped wasn't done with her yet. The next morning came bright and quiet. Too quiet. Sarah woke before sunrise, staring at the walls of the small room. Everything felt strange. The floorboards, the scent of coffee, the soft hum of life beyond the door. She stretched slowly, but her chest tightened with worry. Anna was in the kitchen, humming softly while making breakfast. She glanced at Sarah. "Sleep well." Sarah nodded but didn't speak. Her mind replayed the night before. The fleeting shadow of headlights on the street. The feeling that someone was watching. It wasn't just a feeling. Around noon, there was a soft knock at the door. 3 light knocks. Sarah froze. Anna paused mid-motion. "Who is it?" she asked quietly. No answer, just the soft echo of the knocks. Anna exchanged a glance with Sarah. "Stay here," she whispered. Then she went to the door, peered through the small window. Her face went pale. "There's someone asking for her." "Sarah," she said softly. "A man, tall, hat, says he's from your family." Sarah's heart stopped. Every muscle froze. Her stomach twisted. She had imagined this, hoped it would never happen. But here it was, the past chasing her down the road she'd barely walked. "Should I?" Sarah whispered. Anna shook her head. "No, not yet. You're not ready. They don't understand. They'll try to take you back." The man outside waited. Calm, patient. His eyes scanned the street, then the window. He had a presence that made the air heavy. Sarah could feel him even through the door. She swallowed hard. "I can't go back." Anna placed her hand on Sarah's shoulder. "Then we have to make sure he can't find you. For now." They moved quickly. The curtains drawn, doors locked, every sound muffled. But the tension didn't leave. Hours passed. Sarah sat on the floor, knees drawn to her chest. She stared at the rain streaking the window. Every drop reminded her of the field she ran across. The dirt road, the headlights, the car, the freedom she almost lost in a heartbeat. Anna spoke softly. "They'll come again. They always do. You have to decide, are you hiding forever, or are you going to stand up? Make a life for yourself." Sarah thought about the farms, the barns, the strict eyes of her father. She thought about Jonas, the letter, the money he gave her. She thought about the car, the stranger who helped her, and the first sip of soda that made her laugh without guilt. Her hands clenched around her knees. "I don't know if I can," she said. "The world is too big, too loud." Anna sat beside her. "You can. You survived the night. You left. That was the hardest part. Everything else is just learning to live." A shadow passed the window again. She saw it, a figure in a hat, watching, waiting. Her chest tightened. Fear, anger, sadness all at once. Sarah knew then that running was no longer enough. Hiding wasn't enough either. She had to face the weight of leaving, the cost of freedom, and she would, but not yet. Tonight, she would prepare, gather papers, money, plans, maps, every step calculated, because tomorrow the shadow would return. And this time, she couldn't run blindly. She looked at Anna. "We need to be ready." Anna nodded. "We'll be ready. Together." Outside, the rain fell harder. The road glistened wet, and the shadow lingered, patient, waiting. Freedom had a price, and it was coming for her. The night was heavy. Dark clouds pressed close to the earth. Sarah could hear nothing but her own heartbeat, pounding in rhythm with the rain on the roof. Every shadow felt alive. Every gust of wind carried whispers from a life she'd left behind. She packed quietly. A small bag, bread, water, the letter, her few belongings, the money Jonas had given her. Every item was a tether to her old life or a key to the new one. She didn't know which. Anna watched silently. "Are you ready?" she asked. Sarah nodded. "I think so. I have to be." Outside, the air smelled wet and electric. Lightning flashed far away, illuminating the empty street. Then the sound came, the soft crunch of boots on gravel. Not far, too close. Sarah froze. Her stomach twisted. The shadow had returned. The one from home. The one that had been patient, waiting for her to falter. Anna grabbed her hand. "Remember what I told you. You survived the hardest part. You're brave." Sarah inhaled deeply. Brave once. Brave every day. She gripped her bag tighter and stepped into the night. The figure emerged from the rain. Her father. Hat wet, coat heavy, face pale and tight. His eyes were fierce, searching. "Sarah," he shouted. His voice broke through the storm. "Come back. You don't understand what you're doing." Her heart screamed. Every memory, Barnes' prayers, her mother's face, Jonas standing in the rain, hit her at once. But she did not step back. She did not falter. "I understand," she said softly, firmly. "I understand more than you think." He stepped closer. Anger, pain, love, confusion all in one. "You can't just leave. You're ours." Sarah shook her head. "I'm not yours. I'm mine. I have to live my own life. And I can't do that there." Tears ran down his face. "And what will happen to you? Out there alone?" "I'll be okay," she said. She thought of Anna, of the group helping ex-Amish, of the strange, bright world she had already tasted. "I have people. I'll survive." He looked at her for a long time. Then, slowly he lowered his eyes. Something inside him cracked. Acceptance? Resignation? Sarah didn't know, but she saw it. Without another word, she turned, walking past him into the street. Rain soaked her hair, her dress, her hands. Cold, sharp, alive. Every step away felt heavy, but freeing. Anna waited at the corner. "Come on," she whispered. They ran together toward the waiting car. The tires splashed through puddles. The engine roared alive. Sarah sat, gripping the seat, watching the past shrink behind her. The road stretched forward, empty, dark, but full of possibility. She didn't look back again. Hours later, the first light of dawn broke across the horizon. Pink and gold, spilling over the trees and fields. Sarah leaned her head against the window. For the first time, she felt the world breathing with her. Real, open, terrifying, beautiful. She thought of her family, her friends, Jonas. She thought of the life she left behind. Pain, love, regret, joy, freedom. She realized she had lost much, and she had gained more. Her hands unclenched, her chest softened. She smiled, faint, small, trembling. The world was hers, raw, harsh, and alive. For the first time, she knew she could survive. She could belong. Not there, not anywhere she had ever known, but somewhere, somewhere in the light, somewhere free. Sarah closed her eyes as the car rolled on. The rain stopped. The sun rose higher, and the past, though always present in memory, no longer chained her. She had chosen, she had escaped, and the new dawn welcomed her.